The thing is, you see, to stay childish, you have to put an awful lot of effort and a lot of actions to be able to stay childish. People don't realize that. They think they have to work at maturing or becoming wise or enlightened. But it's the opposite. They have to do a lot of work not to be that. A person has to work really hard to stay unenlightened and immature and childish. Welcome
to another episode
of
Driving to the Riz
with your favorite hosts,
Larry and
Inelia.
Very well done.
I think we did excellently.
One, take two, take three. Well, this is the free part, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And this is the free part of a podcast attached to a newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
We have a newsletter at Substack. Go to Substack, type Inelia Benz.
And you'll get the newsletter.
And you'll get the newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's lots of options too.
Oh, yeah, there are options.
Mm-hmm.
You have many options.
Many options.
Some of them cost nothing. Some of them allow you to be a patron of the light.
On the newsletter, they're all free, actually.
Yeah.
All of them cost nothing, but people have the option to support us if they want to. Now, the podcast, we do reward our sponsors, you, who subscribe to more than just the first hour. If you get the second hour, we give you a second hour.
We wrote this down, right? Ahead of time. Practiced our delivery.
But the Subscribe Star also has other tiers, which are for people who want to support us a bit more, and we give them more rewards. Yeah, and one of the exciting ones that we're doing right now, thank you, Ash, is the nuggets, right?
The nuggets.
Yeah, we're giving nuggets, which basically is like a look behind the scenes in our lives. And so we've been recording bits and bobs of the things that we do during the day, and the subscribers will get those little nuggets.
Yeah.
And we added another tier. So we have the second hour, which is great. You can listen to it, and it's very inexpensive, and you get to support us in our work. And that's the second hour, right? And then you have the middle tier, the medium tier, which is class in focus that goes into the everybody receives with a study group meeting, which is absolutely amazing.
The class is usually about an hour, sometimes 2 hours long, and the study groups go about an hour or so. Yeah. And there's community to work through the class with.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And you also get a homework every week on that one that I send specially. And then there is the top tier. Oh, yeah, those ones also get the nuggets, right?
Oh, yeah, nuggets.
Yeah. And then the top tier gets a monthly call with us doing a card reading to 5 lucky people. Like we pick up one. We have going to get one of these random pickers, and 5 people get a card that we talk about with several questions and things that you can choose from. So that's a really exciting developments for our sponsors. And like I said, there's lots of other things as well that you can look into and, join us and support us or not.
Just read. It's all up to you.
Yeah.
Even share.
Share's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we're going to talk about an energy that I have been feeling, but also noticed several other people feeling, which is about giving up. I've talked about this several times in the past few years because it comes in waves as far as I can see. And each wave is very interesting. The energetics and the mechanics behind them are very interesting. So this is it. Let's start. For a period of time now, about a month or so, I found myself saying the words and feeling the energy of, I give up.
Tell me about it.
I give up.
Remember, I was just getting ready to go black cod fishing, black cod pots. then the market collapsed. I've been reading now. People come in with their fish and they can't even sell them. There's nobody to even buy them. Mm-hmm. Closer I get to maybe going, the lower the price and the less people want them. It's like, I give up.
I give up.
Fine. I'm not going black hot pops. Fine. I'll just...
Whatever.
Not.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Below I will write my excuses in italics.
Oh, yeah.
That way you will be able to see the mental process that can fulfill and feed our constructs of reality. Here goes.
Okay, let's do it. Let's hear why you give up.
Okay. Here it is, the first one.
Okay.
All of them, actually. They all link with each other.
Let's see. What's the first?
What has marked this month as different to other months is that Larry and I have been putting ourselves out there way more than usual. We participated in a street fair, have done several walkwithmenow.com community activities in the area, and plan to do fair festivals this year of 2023.
We did lots of physical things.
We did.
Like outside our normal comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Put yourself way out there. It's like, okay, I'm here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm here. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm here.
I'm here.
I'm here.
You can hear the attitude in the words, right? Yeah. We also have several meetings and classes a month for private students and visitors too.
Quite a lot.
Our podcast, Driving to the Rest, the We Talks, and We Forethought. A daily activity from writing the articles they're based on to recording them. The numbers of subscribers, viewers, and clicks are flat. They move up and down every week in single digits, but basically they stay the same, and they have stayed the same for years. Which is statistically impossible, apparently.
But yet, it's happening, so
we're clearly shadow banned, and as the rules of engagement in this world dictate, we're agreeing to be shadow banned ourselves. Financially, we're constantly short of money to finish our projects, both personal and public. I repeat the same teachings over and over again in multiple ways, and people still don't get it. They still give away their power to their programs, other people and beings, circumstances, and the world. I give up.
That's all your excuses?
Not all of them, but...
That's enough of them.
Some examples. Did you see the mental process there?
Yeah. Like you try, and it isn't having the effect that your trying is supposed to have. Or,
they're doing.
So it's like, why even bother? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm 100% behind you. Let's just quit. Where's the stop button?
As you read these excuses, you may think that they sound like reasonable excuses, like you just said.
Totally reasonable.
And that there are no real alternatives in this world of power over others.
Oh.
But they're not reasonable.
They're not reasonable.
Not reasonable for us, not at least. Not reasonable for individuals who are capable and able to see beyond the illusion of separation.
Yeah, hey, if you could see beyond the illusion of separation, why the limitation?
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't got to push stop. Okay.
Part of my existence here, as well as yours, is a deep dive and immersion into the light-dark paradigm of experience. This inevitably means that we feel the importance as emotions and results of our limited sensory input and the translation of those inputs through tons of low-frequency programs and beliefs. Becoming aware of what we do with these feelings as data interpreted through programs is important. Did you get that?
Glazed over.
Oh, you glazed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you say that one again?
So, you came into the world, right?
I did, yes.
Mm-hmm. And did you come here to be know that this is a total illusion and that you can click your fingers and it changes?
No.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
I came here to go fishing.
Yeah, deep diving and immersion experience, right?
Yeah, totally get immersed in fishing. Mm-hmm. With a boat. So it was mostly boats.
Okay.
Fishing was kind of, that's what you can do with boats.
So you feel importance as emotions and results, right? Of the illusionary reason for being here fishing.
Yeah. It's like, what looks good, what looks bad, the crew's listening, they ain't listening, the fish are biting, they ain't biting. There's all kinds of things going on.
And you interpret your results with fishing through tons of low frequency programs and beliefs.
Well, I don't know about that. I felt pretty high frequency to get a pile of cash in my pocket.
Is that? Well, it's like, you're still within the programming that says you have to pay to live here on the planet.
I agree.
Okay. Which is a program is still running, and we need it. We need to make money to live here on the planet, right?
Well,
But it's still a program and
I guess you don't
belief.
need it to live on the planet. I mean, we walked around and said, okay, we got no money, we got no freezer. What are you going to do? What's for dinner? Mm. And we looked around and, fortunately it was blackberry season. So first thing was berries.
Yes.
It's like, well, okay, we could survive on berries. We don't really need any money. We probably better read a book. What about the green stuff around here? Can we eat any of that green things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the meat, what kind of meat can you eat? Fish, you said.
We're going to go down to the beach and we're going to have clams and barnacles and mussels and squirrely wiggly wigglies on the bottom. We'll just I'll flop open a rock and it's like the fresh seafood's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have picked a fine location to not need money to survive.
You still need money to pay your land taxes so that they don't take away your...
Well, I mean, if we didn't have any money, then the land tax people ain't getting none either. So I hear you, but you know what I'm saying. It's like, if we really wanted an existence without money, I mean, there's plenty of homeless people setting the example, not necessarily living their best life, but some of them might be.
Yeah. It's a choice, I guess. It is like, that's what I'm saying. It's a choice.
Yeah, it's a choice. I agree. I mean, I don't want to live prehistoric. I would rather open my fridge and have my food there, not have to walk all the way to the beach to get it.
And that's the next bit. You just said it, right? Becoming aware what we do with those feelings, as they interpreted through programs, is important. So you choose to live and have the feeling of reaching into your fridge and getting food out, right? You choose that feeling.
I definitely choose that feeling. Yeah.
Over having to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Because the tide's low and we got to get food or else you ain't going to have no food.
Yeah.
Unless you want sandy, gritty seaweed that washed up for dinner. Mm-hmm. No tanks. I want fresh.
Oops. Let me just put this on focus. Being a grown-up, having a mature personality, being a person of character, having a strong moral force and integrity, incorruptible, courageous, irreproachable, wise, and a steady rock in a stormy and wild environment. Doesn't seem to be very popular in the environment we call Earth. Yet it is what is needed in order for those excuses and so-called lack of alternatives to leave our field of reality and for us to start creating something new, actually. What do you think about that?
Well, I've been watching it, what motivates me or makes me go, I need to listen, or I need attention there. I need some attention there. And usually, if I'm honest, there's a fire and I need to know about, is that fire going to impact me? So what tools can I use to check out that fire? Whatever that fire might be,
Can you give an example of a fire?
Sure, like this morning, the remote viewer fellas, that have a really good reputation. Mm-hmm. They're riding a little bit of a wave because they remote viewed what was happening over in Palestine and Israel, that going on. So, they had a remote view that found it a month or 2 or weeks. I'm not sure. I haven't really looked ahead of time. Mm-hmm. And they see something else, some bigger something's coming, as big as, if not bigger than. But they're only teasing out what that is that they're seeing. They say, come over to our site and subscribe, like our second hour, and then you can find out what the secret is. So there's a bit of marketing there, but I'm curious to find out what it is.
We don't do that because we don't create a mystery.
I'm not saying that we do, but I'm saying that that's what's drawing me with our podcast and your second hour and being a patron of the lake, building the reality with the others that are doing that. What's our purposes, right? Mm-hmm. To, what's the word? Be our natural high frequency self and have that reflected back to us in the experiences we're having, right? Mm-hmm. So we have patrons of the light gathering together to do that together because, well, when we try to do it ourselves, it seems like it doesn't work.
Like what? Fishing?
Yeah, like fishing or like whatever. Like, it's better to have a tribe helping you stay on track, on focus. So being a patron of the light in that sense, you're gathered with others who are doing the same thing, and it helps make the job, I mean, seeable, easier, noticeable, because so often we don't see it in ourselves, you know. But there's no mystery. If you don't go over here and pay us some money, I'm not telling you what's a giant thing that might impact your life. I'm not going to tell you what that is. But if you pay me, I will.
Yeah, we don't do that.
We don't do that, right? So that's working for them.
Yeah,
but
it's working
we're
for
not
them.
using that tool. And why don't we use that tool?
It just feels wrong for me. You know, it's like we give all the information, but if you want to delve deeper into that information, then go ahead and come over.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like people need it and they're gonna die if they don't. It's not like
Or
that.
could be impacted.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mean, they give tons of free content, so I'm not like critical of that. It's just that right now they're using smart marketing, right? It's like, hey guys, come here, check it out.
Manipulative marketing.
It's
I'm not really
actually
into
free.
fire
It's actually free. You can come and you can sign up, and it's a week is for free, and look at all the stuff and everything that we said. And if you like it, you can keep doing it.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is
It's a little bit better.
a little bit of please come look, and it's not really a snag or a snare, but it is still marketing, you know, because it could just tell you what it is. And if you
Well, we
want to
do
get more.
marketing, but our marketing, I just don't like that type of thing, you know. I don't like to create mysteries because I know mysteries are manipulative. And but anyways, going back to the topic, okay. So you said you like to see the fire and being able
I like to be prepared for what fires might be around, which isn't exactly my being high frequency and having it reflected back to me, right?
Yeah. So you would interpret through. I don't understand the connection between the question and the example of these remote viewers having a larger mystery.
Well,
I don't see the connection.
you don't see what?
Why you use that as an example?
Because this is excuses for like the give it up, and we don't use manipulative marketing. But manipulative marketing, for example, works. So are we not using it as an excuse, or are we not using it because we just don't like it, or it's not high frequency, or what's going on? Because why would we limit ourselves that way?
I still don't see the link, but maybe in our second hour, people can explain it to me.
Okay. I give up.
You give up. I give up too.
I give up.
I give up on that one. Yeah. So let me repeat this. Being a grown-up, having a mature personality, being a person of character, having a strong moral force and integrity, incorruptible, courageous, irreproachable, wise, and a steady rock in a stormy and wild environment doesn't seem to be that popular.
That's what I was talking about.
What?
Doesn't seem to be that popular, but we measure that popular by how many eyes or attentions goes on whatever you're producing.
For us, you mean?
That's popular, right? Popular or not popular.
Right.
Popular would mean more eyes would want to see it. Less popular would mean nobody cares less. They don't want to look.
Oh, well, I was actually talking about being like that is not popular, not that our stuff is like that and it's not very popular.
Oh, being mature is not popular?
Yes. Being a grown-up, having a mature personality, being a person of character, having a strong moral force and integrity, incorruptible, courageous, irreproachable, wise, and a steady rock in a stormy and wild environment. Being that doesn't seem to be very popular in the environment we called Earth. Yes, it is what is needed. In order for those excuses and so-called lack of alternatives to leave our field of reality. Now, do you get it?
So I got to grow up?
Yeah.
I think I get it. It's not a very popular opinion. They'd rather Peter Pan around a little while, you know?
There you go. Yeah, yeah. Or be a princess.
No, I don't want to be a princess.
Larry and I were chatting about being adults the other day. How being an adult can certainly has certain dogmas attached to it, made it into a heavy and uninspiring role to play. And often, when we get tired and want to give up, we try to embody a childish character that is not only false and unreal, but is also destructive and painful. Why do we give up sometimes? Because we don't have many positive reinforcements that support our role as mature adults. In this timeline, there are no planetary elders, for example, we can map to or visit for wisdom and guidance during our formative years. No circle of elders sitting around the fire being wise in their silence, while simultaneously sharing and building a field of awareness with each other, of maturity.
Yeah, we don't have that experience, honestly.
We don't. I've never seen it. I've never been in it here in this timeline. Keeping people as perpetual children is part of social engineering.
It is.
Making them dependent and unable to make mature decisions is propagated and made into a desirable state. Men want to be Peter Pan, and women want to be princesses. People in their 30s, an age when they're old enough to be running countries, are busy adulting.
It kind of makes me giggle a little bit thinking about the age that people used to be running the entire world, and they were in their teens and 20s and barely make it to the 30s. My gosh.
From the internet. Adulting is the assumption of tasks, responsibilities, and behaviors traditionally associated with normal grown-up life, with the implication that individuals in questions do not particularly identify as an adult, and that acting as one does not come naturally.
No, you have to put away your childish ways and grow up.
We have 30s, 40, 50, and 60-year-olds running around adulting, which is a move in the right direction, but not exactly acting their age. Yes.
Yes.
But of course, at some point, whether you are adulting or an actual adult, you're going to get tired of all this BS. At that point, use an expansion of awareness exercise and allow yourself a few minutes outside of the social and physical amnesiatic fog. Sit with the elders of the universal high-frequency human collective at a subtle level with an intention of connection and the resumption of your own path to maturity, for example.
I like that idea. We don't have to just complain about not having the fire to sit around. I'll just go sit there.
Yeah.
No, we can't build a fire and find a bunch of elders, so do the exercise.
Well,
Let's try it for a start.
Yeah, but what I want to go back to is that feeling of, giving up.
Yep.
I found it to come through both directions. When you start waking up, when you stop taking drugs, stop drinking alcohol, and start working with your doctors to get off meds, Prozac or whatever other meds that mess up with your mind, that you feel mess up with your mind, I should say. There's like a period of stasis, like no movement. And then it's almost like you start seeing the broader picture of your life. And that can often come in with that energy, I give up. There's a lot of, culturally, they might talk about it being a midlife crisis. And when people get to there, but they're still in that fog or still taking alcohol or drugs or whatever it might be, they will often revert back to being even more childish. Right? So they start...
I've seen that, the wake up people who get woke up and then what do with their newfound wake-up-ness? Move super into child zone.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Do you have an example of that?
Like, oftentimes people go on some kind of a selfish spiritual journey, right?
Selfish, yeah.
they'll be a bit selfish, and they'll be all about their spiritual everything. That's the only thing that's important. Everything else, just like ignore it. Your responsibilities that you may have had, those ones, ignore those. I'm just going to focus on the real important thing, which is my spiritual growth. That kind of thing.
Did you do that?
Oh, yeah.
You did? How did that look like?
How did that look like? Selfish. It looked like no one else's anything had any importance. Only thing that is important is the spiritual experience, ecstatic joy, blisses, whatever that spiritual growth thing was. You're starving for that, and nothing else mattered.
So what was nothing else, and what was the nobodies?
In the case of myself, like I had a wife and 4 kids. They no longer existed. I just going off on trips to events or spiritual whatevers or this or that, and whether they were there or not there, had a need or didn't have a need, it didn't even register. Selfish.
Yeah. So what do you think guided you in that way to that type of experience?
What do you think? What do I think guided me to that type of experience?
Yeah, to become selfish and like more childish than before even.
Almost a hijack of the spiritual growth process. Hijack it in a way that makes it, I guess, more or less attractive to the lower frequency parts of spiritual awareness in a way, right? You know what I'm saying? So like what a child would want spiritually would be the things that are most interesting, the things that grab your attention, the childish wonderments.
Like what?
Like having like instant manifestation, so you can get something for nothing, and you can have presents every day.
Good point.
So I want to learn how to manifest so I can have presents every day. What's the right way to do it? So the ones or the ways that are how you think about that on people who are interested in having free presents all day, every day. Those are the ones that you are attracted to.
That's a good one.
So it's a bit childlike.
Did it change when you stopped drinking?
Did what change?
Drinking alcohol, it meant. Your spiritual journey.
It became mature.
How did it?
More mature, I guess, yeah.
It started maturing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually a perfect example, because that's what I said when we start stepping into that grown-up. The thing is, you see, to stay childish, you have to put an awful lot of effort and a lot of actions to be able to stay childish. People don't realize that. They think they have to work at maturing or becoming wise or enlightened. But it's the opposite. They have to do a lot of work not to be that. A person has to work really hard to stay unenlightened and immature and childish. Yeah. And some of that is a lot of alcohol, drugs, and social programming.
And the lifestyle of a Peter Pan, you know?
Yeah.
It's like live out of your truck with a bag full of whatever.
Yeah.
And you have money to buy what you need when you need it, because you're still you're still attached to your professional life enough that it produces support, but all your support is just designed for childlike experience of life instead of grown-up experience of life. Well, you have to acknowledge the grown-up experience of life was also hijacked. So they were both hijacked in a way.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, the grown-up version is a martyr. You have to martyr yourself to everybody else.
Yes, exactly.
Which isn't better, more mature, but it's...
You're living with other children. It's like...
living with other children.
Yeah, who do even worse things than you.
Being taught that's the best thing to do.
Yeah, and do even worse things, you know?
Yeah. So I don't know that I could say there's there's 10 questions you can ask yourself or 5 questions you can ask yourself. Am I being a child or am I being mature about it? But I think that there are certainly someone can think about, and it'd probably be a good thing to think about for the second hour, 5 signs. Like we could have one. I mean, if you're still drinking alcohol and you're on this path of being your true frequency and having it reflected back to you in experiences of that frequency and you're drinking, then you're not.
No.
I'm afraid that isn't compatible.
Exactly, yeah.
Or, a lot of mind-altering drugs as a regular component of your spiritual journey. Also, it's not going to necessarily be compatible. It's going to be more compatible with the child version. Mm-hmm. The child version is give me this spiritual experience. I'll take this and it'll be it.
Yeah. Oh. Something's happening.
I think the alarm's going off.
It's time to wake up. Grow up, I think.
It's time to grow up.
So, if you wanted to make a list like that, you can start with a list of just a few little things that we talked about being grown up. So you could do, a list of, do I have a mature personality? Yes, no. Right? And then think about, okay, often when you feel about that, you might have an answer immediately what a mature personality might be. So if I say, Larry, do you have a mature personality? What would you answer?
Only sometimes.
Only sometimes?
Only sometimes, yeah.
So what does that look like?
When it's sometimes I am and sometimes I ain't. That's what it looks like.
And so right now you're not?
No, right now I am.
What does a mature personality look like?
This. Ding, ding, ding.
What does a not mature personality look like?
This. Ding, ding,
ding. That's a really good example of the push-pull that we might have around even the words mature personality, right?
Right, because what is our example? The example that I have in my mind of mature personality had to do with my first experience going to a fisherman's meeting with a bunch of elders there.
So and the elders, and nasty, grumpy.
They were quiet.
Yeah,
they were quiet and they were thoughtful. These are words that I'm giving them. They might have just been sleepy and not interested in what was going on. But my feeling was like they were quiet, thoughtful, and they were listening. And they were mulling over and deciding best courses of action for them and the tribe as a whole. That would be their measuring stick for how to decide, make a choice or a decision. Then after that careful consideration, then very few words, that was the, considered position, which the rest of us could say, yeah, you're right. That's a good one. So kind of that was the feeling of mature, Now, looking back on it from here, it was more along the lines of went to 100 of these meetings. It's like, there's no point in talking till the end. They're just like, oh, wise to the ways. Wise to the ways and not in the mode of wasting energy or time or whatever, you know what I mean? So I think I anthropomorphized. I don't know if that's even the right word. That's probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I put weight into their position that probably isn't necessarily existing.
Okay. But,
that's still what I would interpret mature is sober and well, I would say skeptical, right? As in not just take whatever data you toss at him or her and say, yep, whatever you say. There's like well considered and skeptical.
Yeah.
And truth is sought out, and a popular opinion is irrelevant. kind of a things, like not swayed by popular or not.
Yeah.
Like that isn't even on the measuring stick.
Yeah.
It's steady, sovereign, right?
Mm.
I just think of even enlightened.
Mm.
Those are
Cool.
kind of things.
What about a person of character?
Yes, a person of character.
What does that mean?
That's similar, same.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Having a strong moral force and integrity.
Exactly, yeah.
The same? Okay. Incorruptible.
Precisely.
Okay. Courageous.
Most definitely courageous, but, courageous even in the places where it's scary.
Mm.
That, I guess, is courageous, right?
Mm-hmm. Irreproachable.
Irreproachable. Yeah, I think that one too.
I think you're missing the point of this exercise. It's like, no, that too. It's like what energies come to you when you say each of these integrated into yourself. Yeah, so that's how you can make that list that you were talking about earlier. So.
Mature.
Because
all those things.
Mm. A steady rock in a stormy and wild environment.
Yes, you're not easily perturbed. As a matter of fact, you're the strong rock in the middle of the creek that people come to get a breath. It's like, what's going on here? Oh, it's a creek. It's running because it rained. It'll go down. The water's going to go down a little while. Don't worry.
That's good. Do you have any other thoughts?
Well, I think that one of the thoughts are that the childish being selfish and the mature being not selfless, but inclusive of a larger selves. You know what I mean?
Inclusive of the larger group.
That includes themselves.
Yeah.
So it's not the right word, selfless.
No.
But it's also not selfish.
No.
But so becoming that example, that's kind of what I looked to you for, which made you laugh a few times.
Yes.
When we were playing in the road, following your much older son.
You want to tell about that story?
That was quite funny.
Yeah.
Your oldest son, he's much older than we are. Yes. He was, as you say, born an old fellow.
Yeah, he was born an older fellow.
Yeah, and so we were following him and his girlfriend
up the
street in England, in Bath. It was raining a little bit.
Puddles on the floor.
There were puddles on the floor, and we were wearing our boots, of course. So we were jumping into the puddles off of the sidewalk into the road and back. And
he turns around.
Back. You two quit playing and get off the street. Something
You're
like
not
that.
cars.
You're not cars.
Get off the street.
Get off the street.
And we were like, oops.
And we had to grow up 10 years at least instantly.
Yeah. But that's the problem, you see, because there's not playing in the puddles in the street doesn't mean you're a grown up.
I know, that's the thing. It's all confused. It's discombobulated.
Yeah.
Because
it actually is a very grown up thing to do because you're still
engaged with the reality of the planet, the high frequency enjoyments.
Yeah, and the planet. You're connecting with the puddles.
Yeah, it's not childish, although children would do that.
Yeah, they would.
So that's why we give these things a good hard scratch.
Yeah.
Because you need to sit around the fire, mull it over with maybe a group of high frequency elders.
Yeah.
Good.
We do have one of those. Get the subscribe star.
Okay, go to subscribe star.
Get the second hour where we explore this topic even further. And you get to support us, which is awesome.
Yes.
And also discuss these topics with a group of other individuals who, are on it, man. All right. How many seconds till the second hour?
Oh, I'm growing up. Just give me a minute.
You're growing up or grown up?
I'm growing up. Give me a minute.
Growing up, the minute. Okay. Ready?
Do I look bigger?
No.
Wider?
Yeah, a little bit wider, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I'm
Ready?
grown.
Okay.
Well, we'll be starting the second hour shortly.
We are.
Okay. Love you, honey.
Because ultimately we're in a split and those energies or whatever is not directed at us personally. This bullets flying, we could say. And how we walk through the earth is the way in which we decide this is going to affect me or no, this is not going to affect me. But ultimately it's our decision.